Have you ever wondered why two people can be the same age on paper, yet one seems energetic, sharp, and active, while the other struggles with fatigue, slower thinking, and declining health? For decades, scientists believed aging was simply the unavoidable result of getting older. But modern research has revealed something far more fascinating. Deep inside nearly every cell in your body are tiny structures called mitochondria, and the way they function may influence how well your body produces energy, repairs itself, and adapts to the challenges of aging. What's even more surprising is that researchers have discovered these microscopic powerhouses don't simply wear out on their own. Many everyday habits, from what we eat to how we move and even how we sleep, may influence how efficiently they work. And here's the part that surprises many people. Supporting healthy mitochondria isn't just about having more energy today. Evidence suggests it may also play a role in maintaining healthy muscles, supporting brain function, promoting cardiovascular health, and contributing to healthier aging over time. But researchers later discovered something even more interesting. The biggest threats to your mitochondria aren't always obvious. Some of the most common daily habits may slowly reduce their efficiency without producing noticeable symptoms for years. Today, we'll explore what the latest science says about mitochondria, why they're central to healthy aging, and what practical lifestyle choices may help support them naturally. By the end of this video, you'll understand why many longevity researchers, including Dr. William Li, place so much emphasis on nourishing the body's natural defense and repair systems instead of searching for a single magic solution. Let's begin where every story of aging truly starts, inside your cells. Every second, trillions of chemical reactions are taking place throughout your body. Your heart beats continuously. Your lungs exchange oxygen. Your brain processes memories, emotions, and decisions. Your muscles contract whenever you move, and your immune system constantly patrols for potential threats. None of these processes happen without energy. That energy comes largely from mitochondria. Scientists often describe mitochondria as the power plants of our cells because they convert nutrients and oxygen into a molecule called ATP, the body's primary energy currency. Every heartbeat, every thought, and every movement depends on this remarkable process. However, that's not the most interesting part. Researchers now understand that mitochondria do much more than produce energy. Evidence suggests they also help regulate inflammation, participate in cellular repair, influence how cells respond to stress, and even communicate with the cell's genetic machinery. In many ways, they're not simply batteries. They're highly active managers helping coordinate the health of the entire cell. When mitochondria function efficiently, cells tend to perform their jobs more effectively. When mitochondrial function becomes less efficient over time, many body systems may gradually lose resilience. This doesn't mean poor mitochondrial function directly causes every aspect of aging. Aging is a complex process influenced by genetics, environment, lifestyle, and countless biological mechanisms. But research increasingly suggests that mitochondrial health is one important piece of that larger puzzle. And this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. Many people assume that declining energy is simply a normal consequence of growing older. Yet scientists have observed something different. In many cases, chronological age and biological age don't always match. Some individuals in their 70s have mitochondrial function resembling people decades younger, while others experience a much steeper decline earlier in life. Why? Researchers believe lifestyle may significantly influence how resilient mitochondria remain over time. That means our daily choices could matter more than many people realize. But before we discuss what supports mitochondria, it's important to understand what gradually challenges them. One of the biggest factors is something called oxidative stress. This term often sounds intimidating, but the concept is surprisingly simple. As mitochondria generate energy, they naturally produce small amounts of reactive oxygen molecules. In healthy amounts, these molecules aren't necessarily harmful. In fact, they even help cells communicate and adapt. Problems arise when oxidative stress overwhelms the body's antioxidant defenses. Imagine a fireplace. A controlled fire provides warmth and comfort. An uncontrolled fire damages the entire house. Similarly, moderate oxidative activity is a normal part of life. Excessive oxidative stress may gradually damage proteins, fats, DNA, and even mitochondria themselves. Researchers have observed that this damage may accumulate over decades. Yet the real discovery came years later. Scientists found that mitochondria aren't passive victims. They continuously repair themselves. They divide, they merge, they remove damaged components. They create entirely new mitochondria when conditions encourage it. This remarkable adaptability is known as mitochondrial quality control, and it may be one of the body's greatest hidden strengths. Think of a city constantly repairing roads, replacing damaged buildings, and upgrading power stations. As long as maintenance continues efficiently, the city remains functional. But if maintenance slows while damage accelerates, problems begin to accumulate. The same principle appears to apply inside our cells. This realization changed how many scientists think about aging. Instead of asking only how to slow damage, researchers also began asking a new question. How can we better support the body's own repair systems? The answers point toward everyday behaviors more than extraordinary interventions. One of the most powerful examples is physical activity. Many people believe exercise simply burns calories. In reality, its effects extend much deeper. When you exercise, your muscles require significantly more energy. This temporary demand signals your cells to produce additional mitochondria through a process called mitochondrial biogenesis. Think about that for a moment. Movement doesn't just use energy, it may encourage your body to build more of the machinery that produces energy. That's a remarkable adaptation. Studies have found that both aerobic exercise and resistance training may improve mitochondrial function, although they do so through somewhat different biological pathways. Walking briskly, cycling, swimming, strength training, even short sessions performed consistently appear capable of stimulating beneficial adaptations over time. However, that's only part of the picture. Researchers have also discovered that recovery matters just as much as activity. Exercise creates temporary stress. Recovery allows adaptation. Without adequate sleep, nutrition, and rest, the body has fewer opportunities to rebuild stronger systems. This explains why elite athletes prioritize recovery almost as carefully as training itself. The same principle applies to healthy aging. Supporting mitochondria isn't about pushing your body endlessly. It's about providing the right balance between challenge and recovery. And this brings us to nutrition. For years, health discussions focused primarily on calories. Today, researchers increasingly recognize that food also provides biological signals. Different foods influence hormones, inflammation, metabolism, and even mitochondrial behavior. Dr. William Li often emphasizes that many foods contain natural compounds capable of supporting the body's existing defense systems rather than acting as medicines themselves. Colorful vegetables, berries, legumes, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and seafood all contain nutrients and plant compounds that research associates with healthier aging patterns. These foods provide vitamins and minerals involved in energy production, along with antioxidants that may help maintain a healthy balance between oxidative activity and antioxidant defenses. One fascinating area of research involves compounds called polyphenols. These naturally occurring molecules are found in foods such as blueberries, green tea, cocoa, extra virgin olive oil, grapes, and many herbs. Scientists believe polyphenols may activate protective cellular pathways involved in stress resistance and mitochondrial maintenance. Rather than directly increasing energy like caffeine, they appear to encourage the body's own adaptive responses. It's a subtle but important distinction. Instead of forcing cells to work harder, they may help cells function more efficiently. And this reflects a broader lesson emerging from longevity science. The healthiest systems often become stronger not by avoiding all stress, but by responding appropriately to manageable challenges. Researchers call this concept hormesis. It may sound technical, but you've probably experienced it many times. Exercise temporarily stresses muscles. They adapt by becoming stronger. Learning a new skill challenges the brain. Neural connections become more efficient. Cold exposure and heat exposure are also being studied because brief, carefully managed stress may activate protective pathways in some individuals, although research is still evolving and these approaches aren't appropriate for everyone. The key message is not that more stress is always better. Far from it. Chronic, uncontrolled stress can be harmful. Instead, evidence suggests that short, manageable challenges followed by adequate recovery may help the body maintain resilience. That idea changes how we think about aging. Instead of viewing aging as a steady decline, researchers increasingly describe it as a gradual reduction in resilience. Supporting mitochondria may be one way to preserve that resilience for longer. But researchers later uncovered another surprising factor that influences these tiny powerhouses every single night while we sleep. And what they found could completely change the way you think about your bedtime routine. Sleep may be one of the most underestimated influences on mitochondrial health. Many people think of sleep as simply a period when the body shuts down. In reality, the opposite is true. While you're asleep, your brain clears metabolic waste. Hormones follow carefully timed rhythms. Tissues undergo repair, and countless cellular maintenance processes become more active. Researchers have found that inadequate or poor quality sleep is associated with changes in mitochondrial function, increased oxidative stress, and disruptions in how cells produce energy. Over time, these changes may contribute to reduced physical performance, impaired concentration, and less efficient metabolic health. However, that's not the most interesting part. Sleep isn't just about the number of hours you spend in bed. Consistency matters too. Your body operates on an internal biological clock known as the circadian rhythm. This clock helps coordinate when hormones are released, when cells repair themselves, and even how efficiently mitochondria function throughout the day. When sleep schedules regularly shift because of late nights, irregular work hours, or inconsistent routines, those finely tuned systems can become less synchronized. Research suggests that maintaining a consistent sleep schedule may support healthier metabolic function and improve overall energy regulation. This doesn't mean every night must be perfect. Life happens. But over months and years, consistent habits appear to matter more than occasional setbacks. And this leads us to another discovery that surprised scientists. The brain, despite making up only about 2% of body weight, consumes roughly 20% of the body's energy at rest. That enormous energy demand means brain cells rely heavily on healthy mitochondria. Researchers have observed that mitochondrial dysfunction is associated with age-related changes in cognitive performance and brain health. Scientists continue exploring how supporting mitochondrial resilience may help preserve normal cognitive function as people grow older. Yet the relationship goes both ways. Keeping the brain active may also influence the health of the cells themselves. Learning a language, practicing a musical instrument, reading challenging books, building new skills, even meaningful conversations. These activities encourage the brain to form and strengthen neural connections. Evidence suggests that lifelong learning supports what's known as cognitive reserve, the brain's ability to adapt and remain resilient despite the natural changes that occur with age. And this is where the story takes another unexpected turn. One of the most powerful influences on healthy aging may not come from a supplement, a workout, or even a specific food. It may come from our relationships. For years, researchers studying longevity have noticed a consistent pattern among populations known for exceptional health span. While their diets and lifestyles differ, they often share one important characteristic: strong social connections. Scientists have observed that chronic loneliness is associated with increased stress hormones, poorer sleep quality, reduced physical activity, and greater inflammation. Each of these factors may indirectly influence mitochondrial health. Meaningful friendships, supportive families, Community involvement and a sense of purpose appear to contribute to healthier aging in ways researchers are still working to fully understand. This reminds us that our biology is deeply connected to how we live, not just what we eat. But researchers later discovered another fascinating piece of the puzzle. As we age, our muscles naturally lose mass and strength through a process known as sarcopenia. Many people assume this decline is inevitable, yet evidence suggests that much of it can be slowed through regular resistance training and adequate dietary protein. Why does this matter for mitochondria? Because skeletal muscle contains an enormous number of these tiny energy producing structures. Healthy muscles require healthy mitochondria, and healthy mitochondria help muscles remain functional. It's a partnership that works in both directions. Strength training places temporary demands on muscle cells, encouraging them to adapt. Over time, those adaptations may include improved mitochondrial efficiency, better glucose regulation, and enhanced physical function. Perhaps even more importantly, maintaining muscle helps people remain independent as they age. The ability to climb stairs, carry groceries, rise from a chair, travel, play with grandchildren. These everyday activities rely on muscular strength far more than most people realize. Longevity isn't simply about adding years to life, it's about adding life to those years. However, nutrition deserves one more closer look. In today's world, many diets emphasize processed foods that are high in refined sugars and unhealthy fats, while providing relatively few vitamins, minerals, fiber, or protective plant compounds. Researchers have found that long-term dietary patterns matter far more than occasional indulgences. No single meal determines your future health. Instead, it's the thousands of meals consumed over decades that gradually influence metabolism, inflammation, cardiovascular health, and cellular resilience. That's encouraging news because it means improvement doesn't require perfection. Small, sustainable changes can accumulate, replacing sugary drinks with water more often, including colorful vegetables at lunch and dinner, choosing whole grains instead of heavily refined options, adding beans, nuts, seeds, or oily fish throughout the week, preparing more meals at home. These habits may seem modest individually, but together they create an environment that supports the body's natural systems, and that includes the mitochondria working tirelessly inside every cell. Now let's address a question that often appears whenever mitochondrial health is discussed. What about supplements? It's an understandable question. Many products claim to boost mitochondria or dramatically increase energy. The reality is more nuanced. Some nutrients, such as those involved in normal energy metabolism, are essential because the body requires them to function properly. Researchers are also studying compounds like coenzyme Q10, creatine, nicotinamide-related pathways, and other molecules for their potential roles in supporting cellular energy in specific contexts. However, evidence varies depending on the supplement, the population being studied, and individual health conditions. For healthy adults, experts generally emphasize that no supplement can replace the benefits of consistent sleep, regular physical activity, balanced nutrition, stress management, and avoiding smoking. Lifestyle creates the foundation. Supplements, when appropriate and discussed with a qualified healthcare professional, may complement that foundation, but they cannot build it on their own. This reflects an important principle throughout modern longevity research. The body functions as an integrated system. You can't optimize one part while neglecting everything else. Healthy aging isn't built on isolated hacks. It's built on reinforcing many biological systems simultaneously. And perhaps that's the most hopeful message of all. Your mitochondria are remarkably dynamic. Unlike many structures in the body, they constantly adapt to the environment you create. When you become more physically active, they respond. When you improve your sleep, they respond. When you eat a nutrient-rich diet more consistently, they respond. When chronic stress is reduced and recovery improves, they respond. These changes don't happen overnight. Cells remodel gradually. New mitochondria are formed. Older, damaged ones are recycled. Tiny improvements accumulate. Weeks become months. Months become years. And those years may shape how you experience later life. Researchers often describe aging as the gradual accumulation of many small biological changes. The encouraging part is that healthy habits also accumulate. Every walk, every balanced meal, every good night's sleep, every strength training session, every moment spent learning something new or connecting with people you care about. Each may seem insignificant in isolation, but together they create a pattern, and patterns are what biology responds to. Dr. William Lee frequently emphasizes that our bodies possess remarkable built in systems for maintenance, repair, and adaptation. Rather than searching for a single breakthrough, the evidence increasingly points towards supporting those natural systems day after day. Mitochondria are an extraordinary example of this principle. They are constantly producing energy, responding to challenges, repairing themselves, and helping the body adapt to changing conditions. The goal isn't to stop aging. No credible scientist claims that. The goal is to support the biological processes that help us remain healthier, stronger, and more resilient as the years pass. That's an approach grounded not in hype, but in evidence. And perhaps that's what makes it so powerful. The decisions we make today may seem small. Choosing to go for a walk instead of remaining seated, preparing one nutritious meal, going to bed a little earlier, picking up a set of weights, spending time with people who bring meaning to your life. None of these choices feels dramatic in the moment, but over years and decades, they can shape how we age, how we feel, and how well our bodies continue to perform the incredible work they've carried out since the day we were born. Healthy aging is rarely the result of one extraordinary decision. More often, it is the outcome of countless ordinary decisions repeated consistently. And inside every one of those decisions, your mitochondria are listening. The science continues to evolve, and researchers will undoubtedly uncover even more about these remarkable cellular powerhouses in the years ahead. But one lesson is already becoming clear. Supporting your body's natural ability to produce energy, repair itself, and adapt to life's challenges may be one of the most meaningful investments you can make in your future health. Because longevity isn't simply about living longer. It's about preserving the energy to enjoy the years you've earned, the strength to remain independent, the clarity to stay engaged with the people you love, and the resilience to keep doing the things that make life meaningful. The decisions we make today may seem small, but over years and decades, those choices can shape how we age, how we feel, and how long we remain healthy. That's why understanding the science matters.